Yo, what's going on, guys? It's Houston Sports Talk back in the video today, and today we're going to be talking about a potential signing for the Los Angeles Lakers. As recent reports have it that the Los Angeles Lakers are going to be targeting Fred Vanvleet and Kyrie Irving this summer in free agency, as the Lakers will be looking for a point guard in free agency, whether that is signing one of Vanvleet or Kyrie Irving in a sign and trade, or keeping D'Angelo Russell, as D'Angelo Russell is as well as a free agent, just like Vanvleet and Kyrie Irving. So I'm going to get into what I think will happen with Fred VanVleet. Do I think he goes to the Los Angeles Lakers? Personally, I don't think he goes to the Lakers. Right now, I kind of think VanVleet might go to the Philadelphia 76ers. I think that the Sixers, if they lose Harden, they're going to be looking to pay somebody some money to replace James Harden and be a nice two guard next to Tyrese Maxey, because Tyrese Maxey would Tyrese Maxey played point guard, but James Harden always had the ball in his hands. So I kind of could see Fred VanVleet going to Philadelphia. Nick Nurse, the head coach there. Also, Phoenix has some interest in Fred VanVleet in free agency. There's a lot of other teams that Fred VanVleet could possibly go to. VanVleet has a hot market in free agency this summer, and we don't really even know that much of all the teams that might be interested. This is early in the offseason. I mean, the NBA Finals haven't even started yet. There are still two teams that are still playing basketball, and we are still getting some slight rumors here and there. And as much as I think VanVleet would be a good fit for the Los Angeles Lakers, I don't know if I see it happening. I think it is I think the Lakers would be better off signing Fred VanVleet than D'Angelo Russell for sure. He doesn't turn the ball over. He's an amazing assist player. I mean, I saw a stat where he had a lot of games last season with 7 assists in a game and only 1 turnover committed. He's a point guard that's not going to have a lot of assists. Russell kind of struggled with assists for the Lakers in the playoffs. And he's an amazing three-point shooter. That's something D'Angelo Russell also really struggled in the playoffs, was three-point shooting. I mean, I think it was decent at it against the Grizzlies, but the Warriors and the Nuggets series, D'Angelo Russell was absolutely just awful from three. And VanVleet is an efficient three-point shooter. He's a good defender as well for a point guard, and would be an amazing fit for the Lakers. And something I want to note is that the Lakers could actually really sign VanVleet, re-sign Austin Reeves, and at the same time re-sign Rui Hachimura. Now, I don't think it is possible for the Lakers to sign Kyrie, re-sign Austin Reeves, and re-sign Rui Hachimura, because Kyrie Irving is going to be a little more expensive than Fred VanVleet. Not that much more, because both are really two nice point guards. Now, Kyrie is a superstar. I wouldn't really view VanVleet as a superstar. He is an all-star, and I think he is a star, but I don't think he is a superstar. Kyrie Irving is a superstar. Kyrie Irving could probably be making anywhere around, James Harden's asking for $200. I would think Kyrie could maybe make $205. Probably. Kyrie could probably get a 5-year, $205 million deal. Maybe $210. I don't know. That's just my guessing. I really do think, Kyrie realistically probably could get 5-year, $210, $215, $205, something like that, maybe even $220. If James is worth $200 at his age, you'd think Kyrie's worth around that same number, maybe a little bit more. Or I don't think James Harden's worth $200. That's what James wants. James is not going to get $200. I think Kyrie's probably worth around $200 to $210 million this year in free agency. Now, Fred VanVleet is probably worth anywhere from $160 to $175, and maybe could get $180 over 5 years. I think the team that would probably be willing to spend the most for him is most likely the Philadelphia 76ers. The Lakers are probably going to offer him the Lakers are probably going to offer a 5-year, $160 million deal. I really do think that The Lakers are going to kind of maybe lowball the situation, wanting to re-sign Austin Reeves and wanting to re-signing Austin Reeves and Rui Hachimura. And that is a good reason to give him for the low ball. Is, we want to re-sign Austin Reeves and Rui Hachimura and make this team championship competitors. And if you're coming on a team to play with Anthony Davis and LeBron James Austin Reeves is like a star that is not really considered a star at that point if he's playing like the way he did in the playoffs and shooting the way he did in the playoffs. You got Austin, you got everybody the way you run it back. I think if you run it back, if the Lakers run it back and do everything they did last season, bring Rui back, bring Reeves back, and then sign Vanvleet, because Vanvleet is an upgrade. Vanvleet is definitely an upgrade considered of what they had last year with D'Angelo Russell. Russell, he's a decent point guard. He's been an all-star before, but he is not as good as Vanvleet. Not defensively, shooting, passer, everything. Vanvleet is a totally better point guard than D'Angelo Russell, and I totally think that is a huge upgrade. So you upgrade at point guard with Vanvleet, and Austin Reeves and Rui resign. LeBron returns, AD returns. They're basically running the whole thing back. And then they have a chance to get better. They have the 17th overall pick. Either they draft someone for off the bench to become a really good scorer. I don't know who they would draft at the 17th overall pick, or they maybe potentially, here's another idea, maybe try to trade for somebody. I don't know who, but maybe package up Mo Bamba in the 17th overall pick to potentially land a better player for the backup rotation. That's just an idea. So this Lakers team could maybe possibly be better than they were last year. They have multiple opportunities. Let's go over it. You can sign Vanvleet and re-sign Austin Reeves. And then also you re-sign Austin Reeves and re-sign Austin Reeves and Rui Hachimura and Fred VanVleet. You bring the two guys back, and Reeves and Rui, that were unbelievable in the playoffs with LeBron and AD. Those are the four best players for the Lakers in the playoffs. Anthony Davis, LeBron James, Austin Reeves, and Rui Hachimura. You upgrade at point guard with VanVleet, and so those are your five best players on the roster. And then you either draft somebody with the 17th overall pick, or you move you move that 17th overall pick and Mo Bamba, or either Mo Bamba or Malik Beasley in the 17th overall pick. So either the 17th and Mo Bamba or the 17th and Malik Beasley for a better player for the rotation. I don't know, man. The Lakers team, that'd be a good team, and they'd be better than they were last year. And I'll say this, number one, they could have the same roster. They could have the same roster. I mean, they could. I'm realistically saying they could re-sign D'Lo, Austin Reeves, and they could re-sign D'Lo, Austin Reeves, and Rui, and keep the same team they had last year. The same team that just lost. You keep everybody. Well, this is not realistic. You keep everybody that was on the roster when they lost in the playoffs, when they lost in the Western Conference Finals. You keep everybody from that team. You're definitely going to be better. I'll tell you why. Because that whole team wasn't there for most of the season. For half. They were only there up until mid-February. Rui Hachimura didn't join the team till I think end of January, mid-January, whenever that trade happened. Then they added in D'Angelo Russell and replaced Russell Westbrook, added in Jared Vanderbilt, added in Malik Beasley, and also added in Mo Bamba. So those guys came in late for the Lakers. Also, LeBron and Anthony Davis had a lot of injuries. Not saying that would happen again next season, but I think the injuries would be way better for the Lakers. Austin Reeves had some injuries. Lonnie Walker had some injuries. Lakers had a lot of injuries last season. So Lakers could run this whole thing back. Same team. And they're still going to be better. I don't think they're going to be championship contenders, but they're still going to have a better record, be a better seed. But they need to be championship competitors, especially at LeBron and Anthony Davis's age. Anthony Davis isn't that old, but Anthony Davis is, I would think Anthony Davis is starting to get at the end of his prime. LeBron is getting older. He's going to be 39 on December 30th. Lakers need to do something about this, and they need to improve their roster, especially if they want LeBron to stay. And I think the way to do that is, I think the number one thing to do is probably sign Kyrie Irving, and do a sign and trade with the Dallas Mavericks, and then end up going ahead and re-sign Reeves. But the thing about that is, you really wouldn't be able to sign Kyrie. You wouldn't be able to re-sign Reeves, sign and trade Kyrie. You would have to let Rui walk. So that's the one thing. You could technically you could sign VanVleet, re-sign Austin Reeves, and still re-sign Rui. But I think it'd be a little different with Kyrie, because Kyrie is a little bit more expensive than Fred VanVleet. I don't know if the VanVleet signing will happen. I think the Lakers will probably have to be a top 3 candidate for VanVleet. I think right now the number one option for VanVleet has to be the Sixers. If the Suns are going to maybe move Chris Paul, I think the Suns are another option. They're probably a sleeper team for Fred VanVleet, but I think then there are the Lakers right next to them. But you guys have your thoughts as the video. Hope you guys enjoyed it, and let me know your thoughts. Peace out.